Senior Senator from Maryland.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today as chair of the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Committee, and on behalf of over 33 million small businesses across the country to recognize National Small Business Week. Mr. President, when I complete my remarks, I'm going to ask consent to pass the resolution, Res 200, which has been cleared on the hotline, which is sponsored by myself and Senator Ernst and the distinguished senator from New Jersey and distinguished member of the Small Business Committee, our current presiding officer, Senator Booker. This is a resolution that recognizes the contributions of small businesses and entrepreneurs in every community in the United States. Mr. President, a lot has changed in the 60 years since the week we first celebrated in 1963, the Small Business Week, but today they're as resilient as ever. They have faced immense challenges like COVID-19 and continue to serve their communities with great commitment and courage. Our small businesses deserve far more than a week of appreciation for all they do, but this week we look forward to celebrating them and committing our full and unconditional support. Small businesses account for 99.9% of all U.S. businesses and employ nearly half of all U.S. workers. They are spearheaded by entrepreneurs like Lois Gamerman from my home state of Maryland, who was hit hard during the pandemic but pulled her business through to continue serving our great state. Her grit and resourcefulness earned her the 2023 Maryland Small Business Person of the Year. I congratulate Lois on that accomplishment. Lois saw an 85% loss in sales as the hospitality industry suffered during the pandemic. Her business, Soft Stuff Distributors, received help from the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program and the COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program to keep its doors open. I thank all my colleagues for their help in the passage of those two critically important bills, bipartisan efforts to keep our small businesses alive. Lois is just one example of many that are small businesses that are alive today because of the efforts that we did here in the United States Senate. Now, Soft Stuff occupies 33,000 square feet of space and employs over 50 individuals. For Lois and the millions of entrepreneurs who depend on these resources, we must double down and continue to fund the programs that help fuel their success. The Default on American Act Speaker McCarthy unveiled last week would do exactly the opposite. It would cause the small businesses we love and need to suffer. America needs to invest in our small businesses, not abandon them. If the Default on American Act were to become law, accessibility to capital for many entrepreneurs would diminish, and they would have nowhere to turn for assistance. In 2022, the SBA Entrepreneurial Development Program served 1.2 million small businesses. The Default on American Act proposes cutting spending to fiscal year 2022 levels. If spending for these critical programs is cut, SBA would serve 125,000 fewer small businesses than in the previous year. 125,000 American small businesses would be denied the resources and assistance that is critical to their survival. And while many small business owners would find themselves struggling without necessary resources, entrepreneurs of color, women, and rural, and other underserved small business owners in particular would feel the squeeze. Now is not the time to walk back our support. In fact, under the Biden-Harris administration, we have seen small business boom. Today, there are more small business owners nationwide than ever, and now is the time to invest in them, to grow our economy from the middle out and bottom up, and build on the small business boom. We must come together to keep our community strong, not push for legislation that would cut jobs and harm the local shops we love. Part of keeping our community strong is ensuring that the agencies serving them work efficiently and effectively. The Small Business Administration does essential work in supporting small businesses and their community. For the sake of our small businesses, I ask my friends and colleagues on both sides of the aisle to come together so we can pass the long overdue reauthorization of the Small Business Administration. National Small Business Week is our chance to show our small businesses how valuable they are and to pledge our continued support. To all American small business and entrepreneurs, thank you for what you do this week and every week. Madam President, I am now would ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the consideration of S-Res 200, which is at the desk.
The clerk will report.
Senate Resolution 200 expressing support for the designation of the week of April 30th, 2023 through May 6, 2023 as National Small Business Week and so forth.
Without objection, the Senate will proceed.
I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be agreed to, the preamble be agreed to, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Without objection.